Pulling all the megabits today. I thought that was a nice setup. Look at this. I'm like pretty symmetrical. Look at this here. That's like perfect. And look at the little runway. The lights. I mean, it needs one more there. It's missing. But the lights are making a little like runway over there. That's a freaking awesome picture right there. I'm in charge of the bar. So if I have to get up and mix some like Sex on the Beach drinks or something like that, don't mind me. So let me fire up chat activities. Hold everything, I'm almost there. Bror Fredrik is live, no shit. Let's file that under no shit Sherlock. Alright, what do we got? 45 people, that is awesome. Marianne, member for 7 months, and kicking off parking and coffee offset activities with 10 Bananamas. Thank you very much. Let's do some hellos. Janice, Val Marie, Mary Leathers, Phil, Jim Wolf, BK, Anthony Wrench, what's happening? Shout out Sony, and shout out Warrington, of course. Tom Helm, Kyle, yeah, it's finally Friday. Oh my God, what a freaking week this has been. What a week. I need to decompress. Tina, how are you? Good to see you too. Dalai Lama. Pathfinder coaching, Jamie. Alright, so let's, oh, those are top messages. We don't want top messages, we want all the messages. Let me like my own freaking video, lead by example. Blackie. Alright, everyone is piling on board. Doesn't that coffee look good? We got stuffs to talk about. My handy dandy, Officer Bror Pad has been engaged. I got stuff to talk about, and then we'll just wing it from there. Well, I always freaking wing it. But you ready? Let's build a coffee first. I smell good. Damn. What am I wearing? Tom Ford Paradiso, I think it is. I figured it'd be a light afternoon fragrance. I mean, all of them have the same undertones as the next one. You could always tell Tom Ford. But this one is kind of... it's kind of afternoonish. Like, what's it? Tommy Bahama. That's a very afternoon scent. That's not a night scent. Tommy Bahama. You got to get on your yacht shoes and all the rest of that. All right, let's get this going. And Haley is in the house, providing coffee activities. It is dead. You'll see that in a minute. There is nobody in here. Town is kind of quiet too. I looked outside and it was like, I saw some crickets out there. Alright, let's get this going. Let's see if we can develop an animal. Oh shit, I already spilled it. Let's see. This is like tea leaves. Let's see what our future is gonna be. Wait, I'm not seeing anything yet. That looks like kind of like a bumblebee. I don't know. I want Godzilla, something cool. What is that? That looks like a happy face wearing a party hat. No, you know what that looks like? Look close. That's Felix the cat. Check it out. Look really close. That's Felix the cat with a smirk on his face. Sick. We built a good one. Oh, I'm gonna be in the background of someone's picture. How you doing? I met Bror Fredrik. No way. Alright. Should I get him? Yeah, I'm going to put this napkin over here. So I'm going to make a freaking mess. So shout out True Food. We are over here today. That's going to be the Friday thing. It's not going to be like an all-the-time thing. On Tuesday, where did we go? We went to Bellage. And much to my chagrin, they were actually ripping down spring. Because it's been cool here in Vegas. They were ripping down spring, getting ready for the summer. So next week, we'll go and check out summer, what the summer display looks like over there. See, freaking dead. I'm literally in charge of the bar. I told Hallie we'd split tips. I got a tip. Let's see. How you doing, everyone? Barista in the house. All right, well, I'm going to give you guys a twirl. Do I got a 360 cam? True Chief, what up? Alright, let's get this in a reasonable position here. And bang, I'm all up in your grill. Alright, let's have some coffee. Gotta lick the spoon, right? Me and my friggin' rituals. Alright. Alright. Let's see what it. Let's see. Haley does make the best. Well, Mercedes, I'll put them. They'll do some mud wrestling or some jello wrestling because they make equally good coffee. Oh yeah, that is superb. She just nails it every freaking time. Just absolutely crushes the coffee activity. All right, I need more. Christopher C. Lotta. I just made a few drinks. No big deal. Yeah. Oh, commercials already? 6 minutes in? F you. Contacts. I don't wear glasses. So their algorithm really isn't that accurate. Alright, let's get back to chat. 76 people. Arthur, how you doing? Your wife bought you David Beckham. Oh, it's good? I have not tried that. I mean, you know what? When you used to walk through all the places, Dillard's, Macy's, Nordstrom, whatever, when you're in the fashion show mall, you know, all the perfume snipers would be out doing all the things. In Dillard's and Macy's and in Nordstrom, I don't know about Saks, you have to ask, you know, because they want to do the hard sell and all that other shit. You know, you literally have to ask and say, you know, I'd like to see this. They don't leave it out anymore because everyone robs them. Vegas being Vegas, I mean, Dillard's and Nordstrom shut their doors to the main parking lot because people would grab shit, watches, perfume, cologne, and I witnessed it. And they used to run straight out the door to the awaiting vehicle. So they had to close it and make it inconvenient for everyone because people are thieves. So now, I mean, yes, you know, they want to hard sell you and, you know, oh, it comes with a little, you know, carrying case for your toiletries if you spend $200 on this Tom Ford, you know. They want to do all that, but you can't, like, just go in and test shit on your own, you know. I don't want to be sold. I know if it smells good or if it doesn't. I put it at, you know, hopefully it has some coffee beans. You know, you huff the coffee beans to clear out your nose, change of flavors, you know, change the flavors. Smells, allows you to smell something different. Only works about 2 or 3 times. They don't do that shit anymore, you know? But I'm still a huge fan of Toomey. Toomey is awesome. You got a Skechers ad? Did you mention walking in your previous text? Incoming Venmo activities. Thank you in advance, because I do have the Cash App and the Venmo, and I get 90. Let's do some math. 97.1% versus what I get from Super Chat. But I love Super Chat anyway. Super Chat's all good. Let's see what else. So I gotta look into that David Beckham. Will I suffer the high pressure sales? I probably will. I will. Why not? Alright, I just seen something come through from Captain Dave. Toomey Awakening, right? I mean, Toomey Awakening is just freaking awesome. I mean, that is day, night. It's not overbearing. I mean, like I told you, I've been blending. I put my base cologne on and then I spray something light. Like lately it's all been, whatever I put on, I put like 1 puff of Chanel Blue on top of it just to take it down a notch, because you know I like those heavy smells. Toomey Awakening doesn't need any manipulation, and on any part of your body it smells good, you know. Okay, if we're gonna talk about it, fellas, if you're gonna be knocking boots, trying to get lucky or anything like that, you know where you put it? All right, you put cologne on the back of your neck in certain circumstances where you have a relative amount of authority. That way when you're leaving or when you're walking past people, they smell you and it's like, what? You know, it's all of the impression you want to make. You put it on, you know, your carotid artery and your jugular vein. At times, I tend to put it around the Adam's apple a little bit, maybe both sides. When you're looking to get intimate, you put it on your wrist. Why? Because you're touching, because you're hugging, you're holding, you're intimate, you know? Intimate, yeah, if you're on top of someone, they're gonna smell wherever it is, you know, even the back of your neck. But on an intimate level, the wrist is powerful. Don't do that for freaking business meetings. Don't do that casually. Don't stop putting it on your wrist outside of attempts or, how would I say, attempts or confirmed intimate situations. Fellas, ladies know this shit too. So they'll be like, oh, you're looking to get lucky tonight. I see you sprayed it on the wrist. And don't spray it on your junk. Yeah, I said it. Don't spray cologne on your junk. If your junk smells and you're trying to cover something up, you got different issues. Who's down in the Springs? Gary Gideon. Gary Gideon, shout out from Pikes Peak. Bulgari. It's Bulgari, yeah. Bulgari, I still have some of that, but I've been tossing out my old scents. I mean, sometimes, because I'm frugal, I'm just like, oh, I'll just wear this, like, as a daily driver, and I'm spraying some, like, you know, some, like, Gucci or something like that, but I'm starting to get to the place where I'm just like, it's just not me. It doesn't represent me, you know? If your piece of clothing doesn't represent you, freaking toss it, you know? There's frugal and then there's just freaking stupid. So I don't want to be stupid. Alright, let's see. Alright, what I wanted to go back to, before I invite everyone to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell button to get notified when I do this again, which is at least 2 times a week. And I got links down there, and I got the Cash App, I got the Venmo, all the other stuff. Body chemistry does play an important role. And what I always say is these colognes that I talk about, for all intents and purposes, except for Chanel Blue, that's why I layer with it, are oil-based. Some type of oil, or they have like propylene glycol, which, you know, it's a form of oil, even though you could drink it. I mean, it's totally safe. Not like frickin' canola oil and vegetable oil. Can't drink propylene glycol. I wouldn't like, no, don't do that, just don't. Just don't. I don't want to explain it, just don't. But it gives it an oil. The oil, one, it lends to longevity, it lends to projection, and it also lends itself to less change with body chemistry than an alcohol base. So read the damn thing. I don't know how they print anything. Like these days they print shit so small, and it's not an eye thing. It's just like they figured out some freaking scientific way to print things so small you can't even read them. So what do? You take a picture with the phone and, you know, you look at it. Just look. Oil will change, and oil doesn't have the same projection, meaning, you know, how far it travels outside of your body. And it doesn't have the same longevity, you know, and it can damage your clothes, and it can damage your skin. I don't want to say damage your skin. It can dry out your skin. It's not good. It's a freaking alcohol. Would you put rubbing alcohol on you? No, you know, just don't. But there's less of a change, but yeah, it does boil down to the pH of your body. That determines, you know, what smells on what. But if it's oil-based, it kind of smells the same on everyone with a little bit of nuance. Bror, wouldn't your partner get the scent on them if they put it? They'll probably taste it too. Wouldn't your partner get the scent on them if you put it on your private parts? Yeah, and they would taste it. Yeah, I said it. Why bother? And it's just, it's offensive, you know? Like, on the flip side, if a female was like, you know, blasting herself with, you know, some kind of either strong feminine hygiene thing, like that butt deodorant or something like that, or, you know, Chanel No. 5 or White Diamonds by Liz frickin' Taylor or some shit, I wouldn't want any part of that either, you know? I just, no. Just no. So if I don't want it, I ain't doing it to someone else. Yeah, we're talking about this. SJL, yeah, carrier oil, exactly. You know, and having alcohol as a carrier for scent. You know, I don't agree with it. Plus, it spoils in the bottle. It spoils, it'll age in the bottle. The what you're gonna get out of it. I mean, nowadays, good cologne, Tom Ford, freaking $260. Toomey, on the lower end of the spectrum, still 145. I mean, for us guys, they give you like this much, you know, unlike the women who get the little thing. You know, the guys, we get a freaking gallon of it, but you want it to last, you know? I mean, I've had like a bottle of Van Cleef & Arpels Czar. It's probably like 5, 6, 7 years now. I mean, the shit's $600 a bottle, but I've had it 5, 6, 7, it'll probably be 15 years, and it will not go bad unless you leave it in the direct sun, because it's oil based, it's not alcohol based, you know, it's a different thing. That just turned into a cologne show. Burberry for the missus. Yeah, I happen to like that too. I like both versions, the male and the female. Yeah, Chanel Blue, it's a workhorse, it's a daily, it's something you can wear for business during the day. You know, it's not like who you're trying to impress. I just want to smell fresh and good, you know, it gives you that freshness, you know. I mean, the other thing that people do, if you pull the sprayer, if you pull the sprayer off your cologne, and you take your Tom Ford, and you take some Vaseline oil. There's another pro tip for you. Take some Vaseline, and you put it in a little, you know, Pyrex or Corning or whatever, nothing that's gonna explode, because it does get hot, and you just blast it till it turns liquid. You mix some cologne in there, stir it up, and let it reharden, and put it in, you know, a little container. You know, you buy them all over the internet. And believe it or not, that shit lasts forever. I mean, it literally lasts forever. I mean, you gotta mess with the ratios. After a while, you'll figure it out. It'll be too much, too little, but you can always remelt it. You can always cut twice, measure twice, cut once. You can always put more. You can never put less. So don't go friggin' nuts, you know. Put a couple drops in there, see if you like it, and go from there. That shit'll last like a day, you know. It'll last a long, long, long time. And some people do that where they'll spray cologne and then they'll wipe Vaseline on it, and it's like, no, I'm not digging it. And you know when the other time I do it? When I do two things. When I do anything like skincare wise, T. Shanley, link in the description. I just do it when I'm fresh out of the shower. And I also put cologne on for the most part if I'm going out fresh out of the shower, because all your pores are open and you're just like, yeah. You know, ladies know that shit. You know, the steam from the shower opens your pores. You know, you lather on the freaking stuff. Yeah. Oh, great, another commercial. Yippee-ki-yay. Shut up. Let's get rid of that. 88 people. All right, we're getting up there. You guys like when I'm in an actual casino, because it was like 200 and something people on when we were doing the other day. You're welcome, Pathfinder. I love doing them, you know, especially this. I look forward to it all week, because this is kind of the, you know, chatting and chilling type of thing. And I can talk. Like when I'm at the Bellagio, I can't get topical. I couldn't have a 10-minute conversation on the pros and cons of oil-based freaking cologne. You know, not that anyone doesn't want to hear it, but what? Patrol. What did I say? Petrol. You look forward to my streams, brother? I look forward to having you here. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Drakkar. Yeah, Drakkar to this day is still a good smell. Drakkar is a good smell. You know what another good smell is that's so dated? Not Paco Rabanne, but Lagerfeld Photo. I mean, it's almost to the point where it can circle back and become relevant now. I don't even know if they still make it, but Lagerfeld Photo, that stuff has legs. Anything but, what the F was the name of that stuff? I spilled it. No, I didn't spill it. An entire bottle of it once it exploded in Vegas in a van that I owned. What the hell was the name of that? At first they were like pimping it as a unisex cologne. It was in a yellow bottle. What the hell was the name of that? I don't remember. Whatever it was. It was a great scent for then, but dated. I wouldn't wear it now. But it blew up in the vehicle. and I had to get rid of the vehicle. It was just that bad. I never got that out of the car. A whole bottle just went poof and atomized. Yeah, dry car, yeah. WD-40 for Dalai Lama. I hear you. You like the fragrance by Joe Malone. All right, that's interesting. Weird enough, I've said it before, I'm not a huge fan of women's cologne. As much as I could dig men's cologne, I mean, I'll even say, bro, you know, what are you wearing? I mean, I'm that guy. I'm that secure. I don't give a shit. What are you wearing? You know, and it'll be like, oh, you know, this, that, and the other. Gotta try it. You know, Spice Bomb, whatever. But when it comes to women, I don't know why. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of perfume. I mean, a little spritz or whatever, but it's like, I want to smell the woman. I mean, that might just be me. I do have a little bit of a chemical sensitivity, and more women, that's the other thing with alcohol base. Alcohol base can bother me. Like if I spray it here, an alcohol base, and for some reason I woof it, you know, I get a whiff of it up into my brain, I get a headache right away. Yeah, so most women's perfume is alcohol based, you know? So yeah, some women can give me a headache. Yeah, cool water. That was a good CK. No, it wasn't CK1. Great Scott. What the heck was it? I'm thinking one. No, maybe it wasn't one. Cause just keep going. It was in like a round, like semi-round bottle like this, and it had a gold cap, and it was yellow, and Obsession. That's what it was. It was fucking Obsession. Yeah, that used to be the jam. Like when I was like, you know, 18, 19, 20, whatever, I was rocking a freaking van, and, you know, this van is rocking, don't bother knocking in, like the A-Team, you know, it's like, it decked it out. Had a bed in it and everything. No lie. But that freaking Obsession for Men went kaboom inside there. Killed it. Killed my van. I gotta drink coffee. I'm not wired up enough. She wears short shorts. But did you ne'er for short shorts? Aqua Digio? I gotta try that too. Is that one? I don't know. Do I have to try it? Petrol is awesome. Alright, let's see. You wear Dior Blooming Banquets? I'm familiar with that. You like to wear vanilla oil? I kind of like that too. What I'm wearing now has a big overtone of vanilla in that. Patchouli. Yeah, patchouli. I mean, chicks who smell like patchouli. Is it true about chicks who smell like patchouli? I don't know. We all know what they say about chicks who, you know, like, it's kind of like one of that, if she smokes, she pokes kind of things, like, but with patchouli oil. I can't stand Obsession. Yeah, Fahrenheit, yeah, that's another gross one. What's up, Greg? 88888, Pocket Raban, 1 million. Yeah, I'm with you there. What's up, J Mars? Irish Spring. I'm just getting to the end. I cranked out one of the last. Jim West sent me a body wash from England. England has some of the best products. When he sends me a care package from England, I'm just like, yeah, best packaging and the most I don't know. It's just something about the packaging, the presentation, the quality of the product. He sent me some soaps from that he bought like on Seville Road. I mean, some soaps, and I've been using them, and it's just like, I mean, people might not smell it, but I'll tell you what, it makes the shower experience that much better, you know, just starting your day. Or in my case, I took a shower at like 3 in the afternoon because I was just on the phone all freaking day. I took a shower for you guys. You're welcome. And the whole room just was like, and it smells manly and just yeah, raw. Matt Nelson, hippies. Hippies are cool. I like hippies. You're working while watching, say hello to the ladies, bro. Check out Jeremy's Razors. Like razors? Alright, I'll check them out. I mean, I would have loved, I tried morphing away into like, you know, men's type subject matter and, you know, clothes and care and all that other type of stuff. And then link in the description for T. Hanley. You know, I don't know if you guys are having any of it, so you have a patchouli plant. I like the leaves. I rub them. Oh, really? Says 88888. Patriotic company, make soap, etc. That's cool. All right, I'll look into them, Matt. Thank you. England has some, says Thomas. England has some quality items, scents, clothing. Yeah, I mean, one of my things, I would go to Seville, like people hate suits and they hate the whole thing. Trust me, if I could walk around with a suit, I would. I just feel good in them. It's not like, oh, look at me, I'm a big shot in a suit. I just feel good. You know, and suits work well for me because of the shoulder to waist ratio. They work. Not a flex either. You just know what you look good in. I look good in a suit. Kinda. I mean, you guys, wait, you tell me. I wore one kind of to the Bror Nation get together. But most of the circles I travel in, they're like, oh, suits suck. And I don't know why. I don't know where that impression started. But if I wore one in the casinos, you know, people would be asking me where the bathroom is because the only people working, you know, who wear suits anymore work in freaking casinos. So if I had my druthers, I would do that. But I would love to go to Seville Row and get fitted and get a shave and just do all the things, you know, just do all the things. That's one thing I want to do one day. Get the shave, you know, go into a store that specializes in like umbrellas and shit, you know, and get a custom umbrella and get one of them John Wick suits, you know, lined with frickin' ballistic armor. Yeah, all the things. But he got that in Italy, right? Yeah, right. You know what, Dalai Lama, you're right. The 30s Chicago look, awesome. The wider pinstripe, I'm down with that. I'm freaking down. You know what else is good? Like I would do too. What's the name of the show? Peaky Fucking Blinders. The clothes that they wore in Peaky Blinders all freaking day long. I don't have a freaking ounce of Irish in me. Maybe I did. I mean, my ancestors must have banged some Irish women at some point, but yeah, that fashion was on freaking point. And there's a YouTube channel that they go around, like a whole crew of them, like the Peaky Blinders. They all dress like that and walk around, and people are just like, you know, like it's pretty. That's a great look for men. You can buy those, you know, look up Peaky Blinders suits, and there's companies that specialize in that specific style. It's on point. Men look good like that. Oh, Matt, yeah, I'd be like, yeah, combine the voice, a suit, and my freaking pad of paper and a pencil. So when did you check in? What room number? How many guests? Yeah, I think they probably assume, yeah, and a little printing on the side of something, you know what I'm saying? Alright. Yes, I look sharp in the suit, well dressed. Thank you, Marie Bella, and good to see you. Alan, what's going on, brother? Let's see. A suit makes a man look sharp. Abso-freaking-lutely, you know? Yeah, that's what, it's hard to wear a suit in Vegas because it's freaking 110, you know? It's already like 105. I'm gonna wear a suit next year too. I didn't do the tie and all that other stuff. I mean, I think I have a picture somewhere. I didn't do a tie. It was like a silver, had a little sheen to it, a silver gray suit, a little bit of sheen, and I wore a nice, not a freaking Fruit of the Loom, I wore a black t-shirt under it. And it looked good, you know? That I'm good with. The tie, I get. You know, the tie, what convention you attended, I get it. But BCDC, what's up? Alright, I'm gonna demolish a little more of this coffee. But yeah, I love English, especially men's English care and cologne and soaps, and very gentlemanly. The art of gentlemanliness is still alive and well in England. despite all the shit you see on TV, you know? I mean, if you watch YouTube or the news or X, you would think like the entirety of London and England and France was burning to the ground. It's not. It's just not, you know? I mean, there's still might be sections that are burning to the ground, but for the most part, still. Thank you, Mary Leathers. All right, what do we got to talk about? We got to touch on something that I talked about. Suit doesn't make the man makes the suit. There you go. That's like when someone says to me, "Oh, you look like Chuck Norris," or "You look like this," or "You look." I'm like, "No, he looks like me." Same thing. You gotta spin it around. The man does make the suit. Agreed. And I think every man should have a suit in his closet. Just because. But I'm never gonna wear it. Doesn't matter. Like, take your woman or your man out one day, you know, in a freaking suit. Surprise them. Let them come home to you in a suit. You know? Why not? Role play. Go somewhere where they know you. Like your freaking Norm, shout out Norm. He died. He did a good Christmas movie. Go somewhere that you go all the freaking time, where they just know you for this. Or they know you as the mechanic, or they know you as the HVAC guy, or they know you as the accountant, or whatever. Like, go someplace where people are familiar with you, and one day just show up with a freaking suit. You know, and watch everyone. They'll be, you know, some people will talk some shit, but watch what happens. You know, it's good to shake up, or even a sport coat. Exactly, 888. It's good to shake things up once in a while. You know, people gotta know you, you know? People gotta know that you're multi-dimensional. I mean, you know, sometimes I'll cowboy the F up with a big belt buckle, my boots, my jeans, everything but some chew, which, you know, I'm kind of getting into myself. I'll admit. I'll cowboy the F up. You guys know that. You know, a man should be able to fit into any environment that he's in, whether it's business, whether it's anything but like a swingers spot. That's one place you shouldn't fit into, unless that's your thing. But other than that, you should be able to fit in with anyone and anywhere. Like I have a saying, wherever I am, I belong. Let that sink in. Wherever I am, I belong. Like, just, okay, here's a quick one. If you're at Aria, if you're at Javier's, and you want to try some truly high-end freaking colognes, walk right past like you belong there. Go into the men's room. There's an attendant in there. You know, his job is to just like gives you the towels, the things. Okay. He's got a selection, or they have a selection of the highest end $1,000 a bottle, from Spice Bomb all the way up to shit from Dubai you never even heard of. And he's got a jar there. You duke him a couple bucks or whatever. You look through and just smell them. Try them out. He's even got the cards, you know, the whole shit. And you can try some stuff that you've never even heard of before and smell freaking awesome. Pro tip. Where you are is where you belong, even if that's the gutter. If you're in the gutter, that's where you belong. Sorry. If you're in a shithole, it's because you belong there. You set up, you made your bed, you gotta freaking lie in it and figure out a way out. You know? You are where, you belong where you are. Just always think about that. You know, look around your circumstance and say, I belong. Don't go into that white trash freaking, I got friends in the white trash anthem, I got friends in low places. Fuck that, you know? What is that? I got friends in low places. I don't want friends. You're the sum of the 5 people you're surrounded with. I got friends in low places. What does that make you? I don't know. And Garth Brooks, don't be surprised if he gets diddied. Because there's some stuff. All right, let's not get off track. However, I belong where I am. And where I am is where I belong. You know, it's just that thing. Just think about that. That doesn't mean you're trapped there, you have to stay there. But wherever I am, whether I'm in a group of CEOs, whether I'm in a group of freaking kings, queens, and princes, or I'm a group of paupers, whether I'm with blue collar, whether I'm with mechanics, whether I'm with tradesmen, whether I'm with dealers, what doesn't matter. I can sit there and have conversation that's meaningful. I can relate, I can interact, and I feel comfortable. Other than like in some in some sketchy ass places where I know my ass don't belong, that's a different story. But in any situation, formal, business, or social, once I get there, I know I just belong there. You know, and it's not an act. You know why? Here's the other thing. As a man, or I guess a woman too, because if I'm speaking from a man's perspective, I'm conversational about everything. Men should know shit. Men should know shit. Like, there shouldn't be something you're just like, duh, how do you change a tire? Duh, how do you boil water? Duh, you should know stuff. You should know stuff, because that's the art of communication and relating and confidence, that no matter what conversation comes up, her and I, Haley, we had a conversation about the sun, my concept that it's broken, and we got into, refraction and everything else. There's nothing, I mean, I'm sure there's something, but I like to be conversational about everything, whether it's AI, Cologne, bunions, whatever you want to talk about, I will have a conversation with you. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. There's 50 people here right now. I could sit each one of them down here and say, what would you like to talk about? And I can have an intelligent conversation about whatever frickin' topic. Is that a flex? Maybe, whatever. But I like to read. I like to study. If I'm awake, I am frickin' learning something. And that makes me well-rounded, and I can fit in anywhere. I have something to say about everything, whether it's politics. I can even talk about women's subjects. You know, I mean, I can't talk about, the effectiveness of various tampons, but I could talk about just about everything else. Cologne, makeup. I told Haley, I was like, your hair looks awesome. Because I noticed you changed your color. She changed her color from like a brown to like a eggplant, dark purple, black. I know these things. I know what she did, and I know what looks good and what doesn't, You just, that should be your goal. It's always been my goal to fit in, because I've always wanted to expand my circles. I've always wanted to, now they call it networking, which is a bunch of bullshit. I'm networking. No, you're not. Just stop. This is an excuse to get out of the house. For the most part, you want to expand your circles. You want to be able to interact and relate with as many people on this planet as possible. And that's why I think people have problems. That's why, people of different colors, different races, different ethnicities are so spread apart now, because they think they have nothing in common, and they might. If you got your head so far up your ass that all you can think is in one direction, what can you relate to? I mean, even musically, I got Frank Sinatra, about 9 hours of Christmas music. I got all the 90s rap. I got all the 90s alternative. I got all 70s rock. I got Miles Davis. I got Swing Out Sister. I got Sade. I even have a little bit of Willie Nelson, Across the Border. Great freaking album. I mean, I got reggae. I got reggae. I used to chill with freaking Rastafari. Rastafari. A dead man don't even know it, I have Asian music, and this isn't a flex. I'm just trying to express the well-roundedness that humans need to function on, to throw off the shackles of all the bullshit that we deal with on the daily. You'd be surprised how many people you'd be able to relate with, and how much better this world would be if they realized that we all have the same goals, We just want to live in, some people want to live in peace. There's a faction of people who do not want peace. For the most part, most people want peace. They want to enjoy their families. They want a roof over their head. They want a timely paycheck, and They just want to be done. You know, but if I could sit down and listen to some Biggie Smalls with someone, cool, you know, and then rock with some frickin', you know, Toby Keith, whatever. I just don't care. I just don't care. But you'd be hard-pressed to have a conversation. You know what I had a conversation about today? Taxes. I had like a half-hour conversation with someone about Trump's new tax bills. He busted one out specifically for business. And most people don't even know this. Most people are assholes when it comes to taxes. Or they, you know, whatever. Did you know that in 2005 they did away with the tax deduction for entertainment? And most people think, oh yeah, I'm just going to take these people here, take them to the movies, take them to the titty bar, and it's a tax deduction. They eliminated that shit exactly 20 years ago. However, Trump's reenacting it. He's taken away, like, entertainment is now a deduction again under this new tax bill. 2 thumbs up. So you can entertain clients once again as an expense. It was never a business expense. It was, for 20 years, it has not been a business expense. And the other one is it's been 50% on meals since 2005. Now it's going back to 100%, as long as it's work related. Like we talk about business while you're chewing a meal at frickin' Bidet's, it becomes a business expense. 100%, not 50%. Plus, the first 23% of your income is no longer taxed as a business. Say what? Oh, and economic zones. If you want to invest in one of these economic zones, 0 capital gains tax. Hold it for 5 years. Becomes totally tax-free. What? Oh, that's so bad. You could cure cancer, and people would be like, hey, dead people have rights too. The terminally ill have rights too. Yeah, shut up. Anyway, yeah, sweets, yeah. Sports venues stuff, now that becomes 100% deductible again. Let the frickin' horses go. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, I was able to have a meaningful, deep conversation about the pros and cons of expensing various business things. You know, I just like being aware of shit. Why don't people like being aware of things? You know, just do you like not knowing shit? Is your life simpler? I mean, it depends what you want to know. I mean, according to my Nordic ancestors, there's, you know, in Havamal, it says the wiser you get, the less happy you can become, because the more shit you know about how, you know, what's going on behind the scenes, you know, it's hard to walk around with a smile on your face, but only idiots smile all the time, as a man. I'm an idiot. I went there. I don't trust people who smile all the time. Anyway, you should know stuff, and your circles will expand. Hey, you know, that guy Bob, that guy Joe, that guy Bror, you know. Out of the blue, we had a great conversation. We related. We talked about the same topics. It expanded over to, hey, you know, what do you do? What do you do? Maybe there's some business we could do together, being that we're so good with each other now, you know? And oh, fellas, if you're single, or, you know, if you're not, this might change things too. Women love men who are so well-rounded, you know? And they can't dominate you the same way. Oh, my man's a stupid, like you know, like all half the commercials on TV. It's always the woman and the guy's like, blah, 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 blah. You know, women like a well-rounded man, because a well-rounded man who knows a lot of stuff is more likely to lead correctly, more likely to make decisions correctly, more likely to say, what do you want for dinner? I don't know, what do you want for dinner? No, as a man, I know what the actual F I want for dinner. Do you want it too? I mean, I want to make you happy, but this is what I'm thinking. You know, but if you're just like, duh, all I know is engines, duh, all I know is computers, duh, all I know is HVAC, all I know is accounting, you're not that well-rounded, and you're not that fucking interesting. I'll just go there. You're just not freaking interesting. And women love interesting men. I mean, what was that commercial? The most interesting man in the world? Women love the most interesting man in the world. The most interesting man in the room. You know, women given their choice would flaunt you. Like, unlike dudes are a little more like, hey, well, me, what are you looking at my woman for? I'll knock you. You know, don't be staring at her. Yes, she's attractive, she's with me, but don't be freaking staring, I'll knock you out. Women flaunt men. Women like that other women are interested in their man, and that's a product of one, his looks, but his overall appeal, his overall well-roundedness. My husband told me this. My husband knows that. My husband does this and that and this. They will flaunt you when you're in that level of well-roundedness. Right, ladies? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me, any of you, man or woman, tell me anything that I've said that is not correct. Okay. Oh, someone got deleted. Let's watch this comment. Something got deleted. Let's look. I love deleted comments. Steve says, alright, so Trump wears shoes that are too big. Okay, what does that mean? So does that mean you're not going to accept the tax breaks that are coming? Does that mean you're going to pay your tax on tips even though it's not required? Does that mean because he wears shoes that are too big? I love calling people out on dumb shit. So Trump wears shoes that are too big for his little feet. So that means when you buy a car, you are not going to write off the interest like you're going to be entitled to, right? Because you hate Trump. Duh. Anyway. Duh. Yeah, and women love money. And you know what? Here's the thing. Well-rounded men seem to attract money. So the same thing. Attract women. Right. Agreed, Sanchez. Gary M, what's happening? I still haven't approached my list. I went off on a whole different freaking tangent. Oh, it's early. We got like an hour. All right. Tell bro I am the flamingo if you want to fight. Are you like calling me out for a fight? Really, bro? All right. When you fight with Trump. I love a well-rounded, let's see. Yeah, for sure. Adios. Hang on one second. Let me see something real quick. I'm doing some housekeeping. Yeah, why don't you ladies handle that? Oh, I had to scroll down to take care of that. And thank you, Janice. Chris Miller, hey bro Nation, I miss your walks. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I like doing the whole walking around thing. However, it's already 103 today, and just absolutely brutal. So I don't know how much walking around we're gonna do. I might do some inside casino walking type of thing, but other than that, don't know. I got to think about my health and my well-being. I don't want to get scorched and, you know, suffer heat stroke and all that other shit. It's just unhealthy marching around there. But I'll do what I can. Oh, speaking of which, World Series of Poker started today. So, you know, I'm going to try to do this regular Friday live stream, and I'm also going to mix it up with one other live stream. So we will be going over to check out the World Series of Poker like we always do. It's going to be over at Paris, and we will go back to Bellagio next week also and check out the new display. So yeah, and you guys like that, but I don't get to talk like I am now. I got to be more, you know, ooh, look at the pretty whatevers, you know. So yeah. No, Chris, I mean, that's no big deal. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't, you know, I've been so busy with work for the past couple of months that, you know, during the great weather, it would have been the most opportune time to do it. But I was pulling on average 50 to 55 hour weeks for like 3 months. So yeah, it just didn't become available. But now that it is, now that I have a little more availability, it's friggin' blazing already. Ugh. An intelligent man is very attractive. Yeah. Mary, that's what I hear. Confirmed by Mary. I mean, women, they say, what do they say? The fastest way to a man's heart is through his stomach or something like that. Fastest way to a woman's is through her mind. But anyway, I'm reading comments. Patrick tuning in from Palmdale, Mojave Desert. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Patrick. Happy Memorial Day weekend. I mean, why we put happy in front of it, it's a little solemn, a little somber, because it's not about frickin' hot dogs and hamburgers, even though, it's a 3-day weekend, so good on everyone. I'm not saying walk around moping and feeling bad, but do take into consideration that the availability to have a 3-day weekend and a day off or whatever, it's because men and women gave the ultimate sacrifice to make that possible. It's a memorial. You're supposed to remember. I specifically take it to, family members, because, I had cousins that died in the Nam, and, uncles that died in Korea and WW2 and all that. So yeah. I love a well-rounded man, says Jamie. My husband is knowledgeable in so many things. Isn't that awesome? Aren't you, Jamie? You nailed it. When you have a man like that, aren't you like a little extra proud? It's just like, you light up, to him. You're like, if you go to him with a situation, he can fix it. Maybe not 100%, but he will find a way to fix it. Or, it's just like men should be handy too. You shouldn't be like freaking duh when it comes to it. You should know how to fix a pee trap, or have enough money to pay someone else, but you should know what the hell he's doing. That way he doesn't do an effed up job. Google it. How to fix a pee trap. Oh, I don't want to do that. Pay someone. But You're not going to get bamboozled, You know what a timing chain is on your freaking vehicle. That way you're not like, oh, timing chain. Like you're being submissive to other men. Because you don't know shit about your own roof on your house. You have to be submissive to another man. Well, Mr. So-and-so, it's going to cost you $30,000 for this roof because, the underlayment on it. What's underlayment? Okay, Mr. Contractor. You're placing yourself in a position of submission as a man when you don't know shit. That just hit me. You're placing yourself in a position of submission to other men when you don't know shit. I'm not saying you have to be an expert or anything like that, but you should have a working knowledge of whatever you're engaging. Well, I could just pay people to do shit. That does not let you off the hook for knowing about it. I pay people to do tune-ups. Do cars even need tune-ups anymore? But just an analogy. No, I know what gap in a spark plug is. I know what an EG valve is. I know what vacuum hoses are. I know what spark plug cables are. I know what a distributor does. I know what fuel injectors do. I know what a fuel pump does. I'm not going to go in and change them unless I'm freaking forced to, but I know and I can talk. When they tell me it's like $900 to change the cabin air filter on your car, I'll be just like, bro, that part's like $20 and it takes like 5 minutes. So get a grip and give me a real freaking price. And it'll be like, nah, I was only playing. Unless you're at a BMW dealership. You should know shit. You should know shit. You should just know shit. I gotta check Super Chat activities. I've been like going off. I need more coffee. Do I need more coffee? I think I do. But I haven't finished this one because I'm freaking talking the balls off a rhinoceros over here. Phil with the 5 Bananagramas. Good. Whenever you're ready, I'll be ready for you.
Deal.
Thank you. She said deal. Filled with the 5 banana rounds. I always end up smelling like cheap perfume every night. Hey, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see it. I do smell good though, right? My dad looked like, I don't know if I can say that out loud. Your mom looked like Anne Margaret. They married. Really? No kidding. That's an interesting combination. Anne Margaret and Saddam. Yeah, do your own research. Yeah, don't take people's word for it. Don't be that person who's like saves all the memes that agree with their own position. Be open to new freaking ideas. You know? Crypto, what's going on? I don't know if I'll be going to the conference because you got to pay to be there, you know? And I don't know if I want to pay. If I got money to pay to be at the crypto Bitcoin conference, then I could just buy more Bitcoin. Bitcoin, all new high, hit 112. Womp. On the way to 150, next stop 150, and everyone's like, oh my god, it crashed today all the way down to 107. You call that a crash? Haven't been in crypto long, number one. Number two, you know, that's just, it always consolidates. All new high, little correction, consolidation, all new high. I mean, it might go down back to frickin' 72. You know what that means? Buy more. My dad taught me how to fix the toilet in the first house. Good. He said when the ball... I thought he was joking. Yeah, you gotta know all this. As a man, you gotta know how to fix a running toilet. You know, when you're woman, or you got a running toilet, running all night in the master bedroom if you have one. Well, what are you gonna do? Wait until the morning to call someone? No, you're gonna whip the top off. You're gonna stick your hands down in that shit, and you're gonna figure out that the chain is wrapped around the thing, and you're gonna undo it, or, you know, whatever. You're gonna fix shit. Man's gotta fix shit. Man, good with his hands. Let's see, what are we talking about here? Yeah, but do your own research. Don't be that person who's like, well, you agree with me, so I must be right. No, don't take anyone's word for anything, including mine. You don't have to take my word for anything. I mean, I'll always say, challenge it. Now I'm gonna guzzle this one. Thank you.
Want me to sit you out? Yeah, you're good. Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. She's so polite when I'm streaming. I think she might be a little shy. Alright, I'm gonna build me a coffee. What are we getting? Rio is comfy and clean. I like the sectional tile. I've done a lot of photo shoots at the Rio. I've done a lot of photo shoots because those rooms are freaking enormous. Those suites are ginormous and awesome. Yeah. Oh, speaking of the Rio, I'm still gonna talk about friggin' AirPods in a second. But I'm kind of enjoying the subject matter right now. I don't know if you guys are, because I'm seeing a super chat activity. Well, I wouldn't say that's a coffee activity. Let's see. Legionnaire's disease was a big thing. A lot of people died because Legionnaire's disease at the Rio. This was, I think, back in the 80s or the 90s. I think in the 90s. You know, Legionnaire's disease F you up. And it was during a Legionnaire's conference, but the bacteria that causes it, it's like legion, something in Latin. Anyway, whatever. I don't know the frickin' histrionics of it. 2 properties here in Las Vegas have detectable amounts of Legionnaire's disease, Legionnaires in their water supplies. One of them being, I wrote it down because I want to be right, South Point. I know some people like the South Point. I can't stand that frickin' place. That place can eat a bag. I cannot stand South Point. I had one of the most negative experiences in Las Vegas at the South Point while filming. They were basically like, we're gonna detain and confine you until you give us a password to your phone so we can delete whatever film you took. Fuck you. Just just go fuck yourself, because that was never ever gonna happen. So they, you know, they were detaining me and whatnot, so they could eat a bag all freaking day. So yeah, I was the most negative. Yeah, you're gonna take I can't go anywhere until you get my phone and I give you the passwords. Go, yeah. I was like, all right, well, let's call the police. How about I use my phone and we'll talk about this illegal detention and how you want to take over my personal property. Go fuck yourselves. Anyway, I don't like the South Point. It smells like horse shit. Oh, but you get cheap steak there. It still smells like horse shit. Oh, the slots are loose. Bullshit, they're not. Oh, they got a great buffet. So what? They have Legionnaires. So, good luck with your Legionnaires problem. South Point. Let's see. The other place that has Legionnaires is, I think it's a Hilton Grand. Someone might want to, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's a Hilton Grand. And bedbugs. We'll go to bedbugs. You can check this too. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Excalibur or Luxor, there's a lawsuit going on about bedbugs. And I think TI. I think it's TI. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said shit. Easy E. See, I'm that well-rounded. Yeah, I think it's those two, but you can look on your own. I don't know that for a fact. If you guys want to post it now, that'll be awesome. Yeah, the Wind is a good buffet. Don't say no. And Jardines over at Encore is pretty friggin' awesome, too. I love eating breakfast at Jardines. Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't say shit. Let's see. So bedbugs and Legionnaires, and $20 slices of pizza. Luxor and TI it was. Thank you. All right, I appreciate that. I appreciate the confirmation because I don't like giving out inaccurate information. You might want to check Legionnaires too. Let's get that straight. But I know one of them is that. I'm freaking amped. My thing just came on. I'm 96 sitting down, talking the balls off a rhinoceros with my pulse. Yeah, I know one of them is South Point. So you might want to check that too. It's in the HVAC and the pools. Yeah, last year they were like trace amounts. Like there's a certain in Vegas, well, in pools in general, in order to open your pool where open to the public, not a private pool, you can shit in your own pool, pee in it, do whatever you want. But if it's a public accessible pool, they have to check it before it opens. And one of the things they check it for is concentrations of fecal matter. A lot of pools did not open. The Grandview. Okay, thank you. The Grandview. All right, so it was the Grandview. Thank you, Sylvia. And hello, Sylvia. And Janice. Good looking out. So, yeah. A couple of pools last year had really high traces of fecal matter. So, you know, that could be everything from, you know, swamp butt to someone. I don't think if people are literally like dropping tooths in the pool or anything. That could just be like this fecal matter. You know, water is nasty. Water is nasty. You got, this bed bug's everywhere, and it's not necessarily in the property. Some people bring them along for the ride, you know. I was in someone's car a number of years ago, just getting a ride somewhere, and I saw roaches in their freaking car, and I was horrified. I was absolutely freaking horrified. They had roaches in their car. Imagine how bad their house is if they have roaches in their car. I mean, I just jumped out. I still had to work. I was still in the middle of a video shoot, and I was just like grossed the F out. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to cause friction with the people, but I was grossed the absolute F out. They had roaches in their car, and it wasn't a hoopty. It was a Ford Expedition. Relatively current model, maybe a couple years old. I mean, it wasn't a shitty car. I mean, they did have, you know, some freaking hamburger wrappers and whatever. It wasn't the neatest car I've ever been in, obviously. But, wow, why did she make the second cup so much hotter? That's freaking hot. That is hot. Oh. Maybe she nuked it for me. Yeah, people don't clean their butts. That's what I want to. As much as I went there the other day. I mean, a bidet is okay. Oh, I'm not using a bidet. That's for chicks and doing their hoo-has and whatnot. All right, if you got mud on your truck, would you wipe it off with some dry paper towels? And how far would you go with that? How clean would you get the mud off your truck, off your F-150, with just dry paper towels? Am I right or am I wrong? That's all I'm saying. Now, the bidet that I tried for the first time over at Aria in the Sky Suites, it almost cut me in half. It was like a plasma cutter. It was set on, I don't know how to interpret all these freaking buttons and shit. So I was just like, all right, this looks like, I pressed it, and it was just like, I thought it was like, like they can cut shit in half with like a water jet, masonry steel, with the high pressure water. It was just like this. I was just press a button. It was like, I swear, I felt like I was gonna be sliced in half, like something out of Saw. I mean, it was that level of freaking nuts. But I'm sure they have different settings. So yeah. There's only so much you can clean up. Let's just go there. I do use, they're in the cabinet, I do use the, like the dude wipe type things, I like being cleanly. I ain't got no freaking swamp ass. Just is what it is. Anyway, allegedly, yeah, okay. Arliss, we will say allegedly. No, I don't think it's allegedly at this point. I think the health department gave them notice that South Point and Grandview have the Legionnaires infestations when you get a lawyer. Yeah, no shit. I don't care if it's just a few bites. Just wash everything right away. I swear, when I went to Town Center, to the what do they call the 3D theater, the IMAX theater at Town Center? Not only did they have it was that place was gross. It had people's head stains on the seats, and that place was gross. I swear I got bit by fleas in that freaking place. I wore shorts, and when I got out of there, and then the next day, my entire calves, especially the lower you go, had all little red fire. I know what fleas are. I was bit the actual F up by fleas in that place. Imagine that. Having fleas up in there. Yeah, dude wipes for the win. Right? I mean, sometimes, okay, I gotta do something real quick, I got the full body wipe things, you want to do this and that, whatever, if you're really, truly in a hurry, you're not gonna go out, let me spray some freaking Tom Ford in my pits, No, I want some type of cleanliness, Clean is good. Todd, what's going on? What else we got to talk about? We got to talk about, the SOP. And quickly, we'll talk about, we got time still. We'll talk about the blowing of the smoke up the asses of people. That would be EDC. Tom Ford dude wipes, right? Tom Ford dude wipes would be awesome. It's like, ooh, eau de mineral. That would be the best. Okay. The A's are supposed to be being built down the block over there, in the Tropicana. They started some construction a little bit. Now they're saying they got an exit strategy too. They got a bond out. If they don't complete, they got a bond out policy. So it's not set in stone. However, so put the Tom Ford in the Vaseline, melted Vaseline, try that. I want someone to try that and tell me whether it worked or not. I tried it. So they've done some ground clearing and a little bit here, a little bit there. Now they're saying, I hope it doesn't get built. I'll come out and say, I don't give a shit about that. Just don't build it. Due to the tariffs, That we're not certain about the timing. And agreed, cleanliness is next to godliness. Marie Bella. Due to the tariffs, the future is a little bit in question as to when they're going to start the building. What are they ordering this shit off of Amazon? What are you going to use everything Chinese? Well, okay, other countries have tariffs too. So why aren't you buying U.S. steel, U.S. glass, U.S. seats, U.S. turf, U.S. what are that? Wire. You know, there's plenty of U.S.-based wire companies. Why tariffs? Now, what they might be saying is, like, the wind is pulling the same bullshit. They're just like, well, we were gonna renovate our rooms, with $200 million renovation, but with the tariffs, oh, you're buying your shit at Amazon too? You're buying the bed at Amazon? Well, what are you doing? You getting the carpet from China? What are you talking about? Just be clear. Oh, well, are you saying, or the A's saying, okay, due to the tariffs that are going on, which Trump's winning the tariff war because they're all bending the knee and capitulating. I don't want to talk politics today. Anyway, so due to the tariffs, just be clear. Just stop talking bullshit and say something like, well, tourism, we believe tourism is down and the economy is down due to the tariffs, so we don't know if we want to invest $200 million. Okay, good. Yeah, we can't compete. Yeah, exactly. We can't compete with T-Mo. I mean, they chain those people to their freaking machines down there. That's why you can buy something for $4. But they could be buying all Americans. So if they want to be honest, say, yeah, tourism is down. But no, how about we go this direction? No, tourism is possibly down because a slice of pizza is $20. Tourism might be down because the average stay, even in a mid-level hotel, is $250 to $300 a night. Tourism might be down because a beer costs $17. Tourism might be down because Bror Fredrik has to pay $35 to park here tonight. Tourism might be down just be honest. This town doesn't have an honest... The communication level is not freaking honest. They have not admitted yet that they boiled the frog because some people are still showing up. This should be, I shouldn't be able to see the door. There should be so many people there. Anyway, yeah, right. They're buying the Erectoset Stadium from freaking T-Mo. They're going to buy an American flag that was made in China to put on top, right? That makes sense. Yeah, possibly because of the rhetoric. Like I said, Canadian tourists are like, oh, we heard that as soon as we get off the plane, we're going to be arrested and put into concentration camps. Well, if you're that fucking stupid, that's on you. But come enjoy our town. Just be honest. Just like for EDC, which was, the electric naked Davesy carnival. We saw all the EDCers last week. Security's rolling 3 deep with a chick leading the way. Yeah. You go, girl. EDC. You know what they were saying? Oh, there's going to be 550,000 people in town for EDC. On what freaking planet did they think 550,000 people were going to be at EDC? I mean, I'd be amazed if it broke 100,000, but that's how this town operates. And now for this weekend, they're continuing that bullshit momentum and saying, oh, there's going to be 352,409 people in town for Memorial Day weekend. Now, cumulatively, maybe, but I doubt it. I doubt that. I mean, if it cracks 200, it would be a miracle. I mean, this is the first night. I didn't see anyone, and, when I walked past check-in, well, I didn't say I didn't see anyone. It's not a mob scene, It's just is what it is. And you know what? People can talk all the shit they want. You know what I paid for eggs? I bought 60. Oh, but are you happy now? You wanted ice to toss out your landscaper, but you're still paying $9 for eggs. No, I paid $9 for eggs under the previous administration. I just bought eggs. Large, not frickin' pigeon eggs, the large, like true large, like eggs that look like eggs, not pigeon eggs. 60. That is 5 dozen for those of you who are not good with math. You know how much I paid? $14.97. $14.97 for 5 dozen. Do the math and tell me the economy is worse for some reason because of tariffs. Tell me. You know what I paid for gas? Gas, I filled up. I paid $2.94. What were we paying a year ago? $4. So isn't that a 20-some-odd% reduction here in Las Vegas alone? I paid under $3 for the first time in like 6 frickin' years. Oh, but you know, tariffs don't work. You dummies. Of course it works. Of course it works. Just stop. If Trump said oxygen is the best thing ever, would the entire left tie plastic bags around their heads and zip tie them so they wouldn't get any oxygen? Well, they did that with the thing over the face, didn't they? I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna drink some coffee. Yeah, Southern Cal gas is still jacked up, and we're like, it's Southern California, Las Vegas, and Hawaii. 1, 2, and 3 on the highest gas prices. So, with your governor runs California, Phil, like it's its own entity. So, yeah, I don't know if you're going to be seeing the benefits. What are all these scantily clad women doing? They're everywhere. Is there something going on I should know about? If you want to put on a show, put on a show. Yeah, but I paid $15 for 5 dozen eggs. Let's do the math on that. Under $3 where it was. We tripped out to Walmart. I showed you that our eggs were $9. $9 a dozen. Now it's back down to 3. I'm not happy with 3. They used to be freaking 99 cents, but still, we're on track. Under $3 for gas. Cool. We gotta talk about, what do we gotta talk about? Yeah, China is what it is today because of the tariffs that they charge us, you know, and their propensity towards stealing intellectual property. Yeah, I mean, I saw that the Strat, someone sent me a screenshot that the Strat had dollar rooms. Dollar rooms. And it was like $2 on the weekend, and you just had to pay the resort fees of like, $400 or whatever it was. But they were giving away rooms for $1. I hate crowds unless I'm at a Trump rally. I'd have to agree with that. I'm getting a crypto commercial. See, they're listening. I'm getting a Kraken commercial. Oh, get your shit off. If you're into crypto, Bitcoin, whatever you want to call it, because Bitcoin is a crypto, but it is not crypto. Bitcoin's Bitcoin. How you doing? Get it off the. How many times I gotta tell you? Get it off the exchanges. Coinbase got frickin' hacked. Coinbase, where BlackRock Coinbase is a custodian for BlackRock. That's why I think Coinbase's Bitcoin is paper Bitcoin. It's not real. It's IOUs for Bitcoin. They got hacked. What have I been talking about? That's not some little pissant fucking exchange. That's Coinbase. Kraken #2, whatever. Get your shit, unless you're actively trading, learn about self-custody, get it in a freaking cold wallet, and do your thing. Alright, now, I'm going to circle all the way back to something I said last week. Remember we were talking about the correlation between, and someone said, oh, that's, it's a boomer thing, which I'm not a boomer. I am an Xer, but I'm not a boomer. The correlation between coffee, the correlation between the senses when you're driving. Like I was saying last week, that to this day, if I'm looking for a specific street address, you know, Tyrannosaurus Boulevard or whatever it is, and I'm cruising, and it's dark, or it's at night, or, you know, Tyrannosaurus is a long word on a small thing, so you gotta look a little close, maybe squint. You gotta turn down the radio. Like when I'm driving, I could see better when I turn off the radio. But, you know, your senses are all tied together. Okay, turn down the radio to look at street signs. I've always done it. It's not a product of age. I've just always done it. And conversely, the car runs better because it's quieter when the music's louder. Okay. Today, I had a last-minute phone call as I was heading out the door. I had a last-minute phone call. I mean, this is me. This is my dangle of the fajangle. I am no longer capable of doing this. I can't do it. I simply cannot hold a phone. You shouldn't be holding your phone up to your ear because of radiation and shit, but you shouldn't necessarily be using these for radiation either. The old school wired ones are probably the healthiest ones to stick in your brain, but who uses those anymore? Can you even buy them? Because these are giving off their own frickin' frequencies, but sticking them, and it's just inconvenient. Like, you can't do shit when you're like, you know, the whole bit. Anyway, so I bust out. Oh, I just got the bomb. They're connected. So I bust out the latest generation of AirPods are so freaking awesome because the minute I start talking, it goes transparent so I can hear the sounds around me when I shut up. 100% noise canceling. They're on point. So I get into the car because I've been on the phone so much for the past week or two, like all freaking day. From the time I get up to the time I go to bed. Business. So on the way out, just, you know, texting, quick conversation. You know, quick meaning quick. I got a jet. Okay, I take the phone. So, price team China, yeah, okay, all right, cool. So, being that I'm late, I don't take them out because they've been in there so long that, you know, they start feeling normal and comfortable. So I get in the car and I'm driving, and this is, you know, it takes me a while to get to the car, and I'm driving and doing my thing, and I feel weird. I feel like disconnected. I'm like, you know, I'm double checking everything. You know, I was just like, oh, I gotta take them out now. You know, I'm double checking. I'm looking in my mirror 7 times. I'm like switching lanes, kind of like tentatively, and I was being all tenuous about my maneuvers, like those 2 words. And I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized I had the freaking AirPods in. And they weren't necessarily canceling out the noise. I mean, to a degree, they were doing their noise cancellation trick, but I wasn't on a call. Sometimes I put them in just to have total quiet. I also have some headphones that are over the ear and noise canceling. Sometimes it's just glorious to not hear anything. Sometimes, you know, like I like sleep hygiene, which means like my place is dark unless I choose it not to be. So I like having shit dark. Being in Vegas, when you're in Vegas and you got like east and west facing windows, you block those shits out with aluminum foil, whatever, you know, because your house will heat the actual F up. I don't care what kind of low E glass you got and blackout. I put on window, like it's got the low E on the outside. I put additional window tint on the inside that's like 2-way glass you can see out of, but if you went on the other side, it's like a mirror. Well, like car tint, but you can see out. No, you don't. In the morning, if you're facing east, those windows are staying closed. Afternoon, those are west. No. Yeah, Beats by Dre are good. True. True that. Yeah, so you keep the sun out of your abode to the best of your ability. So sometimes, we're talking about AirPods. So sometimes I walk around with those just for the same reason, to just have quiet. Just I spend my days just interacting and talking and, you know, all the things. And sometimes I just want peace. Like even here in Vegas, there's no quiet place. Do you ever find a quiet place in a casino? If you ever found a quiet place in a casino, let me know. Because I've yet, in my 20-some-odd years being here on and off, I've never found one place of quiet in a casino. They inundate you, you know, your senses here. There's no peace and quiet. So at the end of the day, not that I'm on the strip all the time, or whenever, I just want peace and freaking quiet. You know, just give me a few. But I didn't realize I still had my AirPods on, because after a while they become part of your head. And I'm driving, and I found myself not driving as well, because I had that auditory thing going on of the noise canceling and some things going through, and just one of my senses was non-functional, like it is now. Like I don't feel comfortable. I got my fingers not in my ears, that'd be gross, but even though I clean them like 3 times a day because I'm crazy, like I'm using this part. Like just not being able to hear right now is awkward. I can see, I can smell, I can touch, but it's just weird. One of your senses is not there. And I felt that driving, and I was like, holy shit, I was right. Yeah, there's some component to driving and hearing. I mean, I'm not saying like, you know, if you're disabled or hearing, what do they call it, hearing challenged or whatever. I'm hearing challenged too. I don't have full, I do not have, I have hearing loss. I've had hearing loss due to some circumstances. So I do have hearing loss in both ears. One of my ears is actually better than the other too. Like if you see me doing this, all right, say you're sitting over here, but I'm doing this. Don't think I'm not paying attention and not looking at you, even though most people be looking at you like this. What I'm doing is I'm giving you my good ear. And once someone gets to know me, I tell them, don't tell you, I'm giving you my good ear. I'm paying attention to you because I'm choosing to use my good ear to focus in on what you're saying. That's just me. If you know me, you know that to be true fact. But there is some type of correlation between the senses, you know, and if you weren't around for last week's conversation, it's going back to distracted driving, like talking on the phone, you know, while you're driving it's bad. It's not a good look, not a good thing to be doing. I can't do it. I cannot, and I refuse to, unless it's, you know, an emergency. I'll take a call. If it's a Teams meeting or something like that, and I'm not driving it, I'll take the Teams meeting and I'll interject because I can listen to a degree. But I'll put it on all the speakers if no one's there, not with AirPods or whatever. I will take. What is going on here? Floozies. You're watching all the floozies go by and not telling me? Anyway, so yeah, I will do that, but I just won't take casual calls, and people talk shit about it all they want, but if people want to say, hey, or they're so proud that they can, you know, take meetings and multitask in their car. Well, I don't want to drive with you because I value my life. I don't want to be wrapped around, but I'm good at it. That's like getting in a car with someone who says, yeah, I had 5 scotches, but I'm a good drunk driver. Don't tell me you're a good freaking car talker either, because I'm just going to be like, no, I'm good. I'll drive, you talk. You know, if this call is that important to me, hand me the keys just like a designated driver and I will freaking drive. You are not driving and talking and taking my life into your hands, because I don't care. That's just me, and it should be you too, because that is bad. That is bad. Anyway, what the heck was that? Those floozies distracted me. Oh, there's some leftover EBCers over there too. She got some purple ass hair. That's why I'm waiting for the robots. I want a car that drives itself. I legitimately, oh, but driving's awesome. Yeah, it's freaking awesome, but I've been doing it for freaking 35 years. You know, I'm good. I don't need to prove anything anymore, you know? People are assholes. I don't want to drive amongst them as much as I used to anymore. Good road trip, I'm down. Day-to-day driving, booking here, booking there, booking here, booking there. I'm good. I would rather have a car or a robot with, you know, boobies, drive me around. I would rather do that because then I can be productive. Then I can focus on the things that I don't focus on when I'm driving, like other distracted drivers and drunks and idiots and all the people running into the middle of the street, you know. Then I could sit in the back and be chauffeured. I want to be chauffeured. I don't have a problem with that. I want to be chauffeured. And I'll sit in the back and I'll pull up to you in your chauffeured vehicle. I'll roll down the window. Beep, and I'll be like this. Do you have any Grey Poupon? You know, I'll go there. Yeah, I'll just mess around. Do you have any Grey Poupon? You know, I'll have fun. I'll play the theme from frickin' Apocalypse Now. I'll blast it out the side. The Flight of the Valkyries. I don't give a shit because I'm being driven around. I'm being chauffeured. I'm down with that. Then I'll crank the music. Then I'll be like, Biggie, 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 can't you see? I'll do all that. I'm down. You know, I'll pull up to you and be like, shall we have the cracked crab or the steamed lobster? Why can't we have both? You know, I don't care. I don't care. And I'm ready for the friggin' robots to take care of shit. Because, did you see the latest demonstration of the Tesla robot that's gonna go for $25K? I mean, I'll split it with you people. We'll each take it. Like, I'll get like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You get Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday we'll charge it. I'll split it with you, and it's, you know, they'll be able to finance it and whatever. Probably be able to write the shit off too. Imagine how great life would be. I mean, I saw and it wasn't an AI thing. It was cooking, it was cleaning, it was vacuuming, it was doing all the household chores. I want one. As long as there's a little bit of boobies. Like plastic ones. You know, I don't want some dude robot running around. You know, I want a little French-made thing over. Doesn't have to have skin, I just don't want a dude running around. Yeah. Packing boxes, it's going in the refrigerator. Scanning what you have. Oh yes, pickles, baking soda, mayonnaise, bologna, and it's like cross-referencing. What can I make with the shit this dude's got in the refrigerator? Oh, there's a piece of chicken, and it'll whip up a recipe. It goes in there, and it starts making a friggin' recipe. I'm down. Then drive me where I want to go. And then I'll teach you Kung Fu. Like Neo. I'll teach you Kung Fu. And it'll be my security too. Be rolling too deep with some freaking robots. Yeah. I'm ready. Oh, but it's taking away jobs. No, it's not. It is not taking away anyone's job, because I never would have hired anyone to do any of that shit anyway. So, because I don't trust people in my house. To this day, I clean my own toilets, because I don't trust people in my house. Yeah, I clean my own toilets, because I don't want strangers in my house. Going through my underwear drawer and shit. Sniffing my underwear. I just don't. However, a robot, I'm cool with that, even though they're probably like, you know, eyeballing everything and sending it over to Elon. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. But anyway, that's the deal. Let me catch up on a few comments, see what. Let me see if I missed any super chat activities. Bonk, nope. Maria Ann and Phil, 15, covering the coffee. Thank you very much. Oh, covering the tip for the coffee. Alright. Bert, We use a taxi for senior, $1 as high as $3. Really? That's actually pretty good. Mike K, how you doing? They have robots great at cleaning bathrooms? Yeah, exactly. Robots can replace all the freaking illegal laborers, you know? I mean, how about this? They went into the villages. I don't know if people are familiar with the villages. I'm familiar with the villages. Been there a bunch of times. I used to photograph properties in there for real estate agents and stuff. I was going to buy my mom's a place there. Like back when they were like $119,000 for 2,000 square feet in the villages. And that's when they were all like swapping wives and shit, you know, back then. Not that my moms would do it. Now they're like $500,000, $600,000 for the same freaking place. And now you get a mini, anyway. But it's beautiful. Villages are beautiful. However, ICE decides to go to the villages. And who do they round up? Everyone. And now all the people are complaining, oh my God, when's my house ever going to be done now that all the illegals are gone? I had a similar problem. I had some auto body done. I told you guys I got freaking T-boned. I had some auto body done. And when I first went in this auto body shop, it was like a beehive. The people were busy and and the music was going. They had a little salsa, a little merengue. I was dancing, the whole bit. And then this happened, and suddenly there's like 2 people there. And I'm like, bro, you told me my car would be done in 5 days. I'm renting a freaking car. This is not cheap. This is costing me on top. What up? He's like, nobody's showing up at work. I said, were they the... He's like, I don't know. So they rounded up like 344 people out of the villages, and they're all pissing and moaning they can't get their houses fixed because of the cheap labor. Oh, what, Venmo activities? Did we see Venmo activities? Has not come through on my side, but I'm gonna blow you and Mary's kisses. Thank you. I appreciate that greatly. You know, sometimes it takes like a day or two for the notifications to come up. I do not know why. But thank you very much. Bro needs to live stream a trip in one of them. The villages are cool, but back in the day, there was like this whole thing. I went to one of their bars once. You know, they have like town centers in the different communities. And I was like, how come everyone's wearing blue like, how come, what's going on? And why are dudes in like polo shirts with the tag out? Like they had this whole like thing going on, the swinger code that was being explained to me. Like if you had your tag out, that means you were into threesomes. And if you had a blue shirt on, I was just like, whoa. Yeah, at one point, it was like a common knowledge that the villages had the highest rate of STDs in all of Florida. Those people were freaks in the beginning, but now it's like giant. The village is giant. So yeah. Yeah, the village has its own zip code. It's freaking massive. Upside down pineapples, yeah. This is all sorts of weird shit. Like on, what's on Star Trek? Like Rigelian. Like it's Rigelian. Like where certain decorum for that type of activities. Like in, you know, if you're familiar with Star Trek, it was like a pineapple-looking gourd thing that you would put next to you while you're sitting around, and women would be like, oh, I know what you like. Grocery prices are coming down in California? That is friggin' awesome. Yeah, they're coming down everywhere, but people still want to piss and moan. Oh, this is what you voted for? Getting rid of illegals and your eggs are still $9. No, they're not. They're $3. Dumbasses. There's these 3 chicks sitting over here. I don't know what they're doing. Do they want to say hello? They're all watching their phones. This one's... I don't know. I don't know what they're doing here. There's no one else here. And they're not drinking. They're just like chilling like Bob Dylan. Anyway. Don't they... Yeah, they have the Dave. They have the driverless Zooks, but... Zooks just had a mad accident. One of them like plowed over a pedestrian. So, yeah, they pushed a software update. I just saw one outside. Not, well, before the live stream. Yeah, they do have them, the driverless. And Waze has driverless Jaguars, too. But it's going to take a long time for robot cars to happen. It's going to be a long time. Because you know why? They're going to, just like human beings, AI has to learn, like that level of AI, you know, intelligence and learning. You have to throw everything at it. It's got to learn how to avoid people jumping in front of the car, balls flying out in the street. It's going to have to get into trouble in order to become a better driver. It would not have to have that if everyone had it. If everyone had a robot car, an AI car, they would communicate with one another. It would be networked. They would know where the curbs are. They'd all know the lights. They'd all keep the same distance. It'd be a little boring, but they would know. They would have spatial awareness of everything around it, you know, so nothing would surprise it other than, you know, maybe a cat running out in the street. But it will never know how to deal with a cat running out in the middle of the street until the cat runs out in the middle of the street. Because that's how AI works. It's a learning process. It's machine learning. So until it gets into some shit, all these accidents, until it gets into some crap, it's not going to be all that efficient. It's not. In sunny days, no other cars on the road, of course it's going to do well. It's training on that model. But until it gets into the shit, into the weeds, and a couple of people, you know, it's got to be some, you know, fender benders. They got to go out there and like put 1,000 of them here in Las Vegas, because people drive like maniacs here. You know, it'll learn a lot, and it is what it is. I'll put it in a parking lot, like, you know, some of us learn how to drive in an empty freaking parking lot, you know, at the mall. You know, you got to throw it the curveballs in order for it to learn. That's the only way it's going to be available. If we keep just saying, oh my God, you know, it had a little fender bender, take them all off the road. No, it learned from that fender bender. It freaking learned. You know, not advocating for fender benders and people getting freaking sideswiped and whatever, but it's got to learn. It's got to learn somehow. Do you learn from your mistakes or your success? You should learn from both your mistakes and your successes, but you should analyze both. How did I get this win? What did I do right to make this happen? You know, what was my path that got me to this success? Analyze the shit out of it so you can replicate it, and analyze your failures. You know, how'd I fuck up? You know, analyze the shit out of that too. You should know both. Unfortunately, cars have to know both too. Well, AI has to know both. Yeah, Mary, they should have training grounds for this shit. Yeah, absolutely they should. I know too, I'm sure. Mr. Rel, yeah, I know. I was thinking about that, you know, when it was still cool out. But we'll get the railroad walk activities going. Let's see. You know what I've been seeing in town? A lot of freaking taxi cabs getting pulled over. That's weird. Thomas, you sent a Venmo? That is friggin' awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do they work in the rain? My toaster doesn't. Yeah, I hope so. I would hope so. Yeah, the robots, yeah, I'm sure they figured that out. But maybe not. Because every iteration of, you know, the humanoid style robot that I've seen has been indoors. But yeah, I would like coat mine in some WD-40 and stuff, you know, because I'd want it to come with me. Yeah, it's gotta be. How do you clean one? You hose it down at the end of the day? I don't know. It would have to be, because I want construction workers. I wanna have robot construction workers. You know, you want something built, you want a house built, custom house, doesn't matter. Things will work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, holidays, it never says no. Have your house built in a month. What's wrong with that? It'd be great for the economy. Oh, but all those construction workers will be out of business. No, not quite, because you need people to program, you need people to build the robots, but eventually the robots will build the robots. Eventually they'll try to kill us all. You know, I mean, that's what Terminator proved. But you know what? We won't need to work once the robots are doing it all for us. Why doesn't nobody ever talk about that? If robots take all the jobs, you know what we get to do? Chill. Chill. Because we'll have everything that we need. We can get off the hamster wheel of life. We'll have everything that we need. People aren't thinking about that. I brought that up in terms of, replicators like Star Trek, but once the robots, what do you need? What do you need? Have your robot, a 3D printer. You need new this, new that. Have your robot fire up the 3D printer that you have in your house. What do you really need? You just want to surround yourself with material things that you don't use? 17 pairs of sunglasses, 500 pairs of shoes, and brag about it? What do you need that shit for? To stroke your own freaking ego? Sit on a throne of shit, Well, what's the purpose of that? It'll get us away from materialism, but it's still being nice to be surrounded by nice shit. I don't say no, but you don't need 17 pairs. Need a couple of nice ones. A brown pair, black pair, racing style, sophisticated if you're going on a yacht. And then the friggin' robots will build you a yacht. Life would be good. We will get off the hamster wheel. It's not about taking jobs, and most of them, they'll replace the illegals first. Well, who's gonna, like the liberals say, oh, who's gonna pick our lettuce and clean our toilets? So that's the most racist, weird shit I ever heard. Liberals are the most racist people ever. Well, black people can't get voter ID because they're just not as smart or they don't have access to computers. Liberals are the most racist freaking people going. But I digress. That'll be the first one. They'll get rid of all of that scenario. Let them go work in the villages. Anyway, let's see. I'm having fun. I mean, I could talk all night. I do not run out of things to talk about. But these are some of my favorite conversations. All right, people. I'm gonna book. I'm gonna get going. Let me just check. There's actually a tab here that says fan funding. Nope, it's still, let's see, Maria Ann with the 10 banana ramas, Phil with the 5, thank you very much. That is going straight to Haley as her tip for the day for being so kind. I appreciate hanging out with you. Now, next week, it's two things we're going to do next week. We are going to go check out the World Series of Poker. And you're welcome. You're very welcome. And I love you guys. I appreciate this being here. And listening and putting up with me and all this stuff. What was I saying? Oh, next week, we're going to go check out the World Series of Poker like we always do. We do the walkthroughs. That's always fun. And we will go check out the conservatory over at the Bellagio. I want to see what the summer display is. I really would like to see it just always looks better at night, but unfortunately it's getting dark at freaking 8 o'clock now. So I don't know how we're going to accomplish that, but I'll figure out a way to do it. Yeah, we'll figure out a way to do it. So let's suck down all that bit of coffee, beer, whatever you're into. You are quite welcome. And I'm going to invite those who are not to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell button, get notified when I do this again at least 2 times a week. And I want everyone to have a safe, enjoyable, but remember the meaning of Memorial Day. Thank your ancestors, those who sacrificed to make your weekend of barbecue, whatever else you're going to do safely, possible. And I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple days. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.